infocom sector. I think with so many changes and changing trends in the way we respond to digital media and visualization, I'm sure the industry will need to be developed very please. Thank you.
So very good morning. I think I'm standing between you and lunch, or there's actually another speaker before me, right? Afternoon, sorry. Okay, so as Eugene mentioned, I head up the education team in Microsoft Singapore, and recently given a slightly more expanded role to look beyond education. That's why you see the long title there, but as we all know, the longer the title means the lower the pay also. But anyway, I think David has shown quite a number of Microsoft emerging technologies like the HoloLens and holoportation. So I was quite fortunate to be given the opportunity sometime about 3 months ago to play the Project X-Ray. But I had creatures coming out of the wall and I was using my fingers to kill them. Quite badly actually. Got killed quite many times. But I think as David said, these are technologies that are, well, not something too far-fetched. They are already in production. And if you ever visit Microsoft in the US, the lab is just at building 92, just in case you wanted to visit. So I think just for this morning, what I will share with you is very in line with what Anders and also David has mentioned about the future of how we see technology enabling us to become smarter and also more connected. I have a not so terrifying video to show you about how the future 5 to 6 years down the road will look like. So I will share with you the future vision of productivity, and this will actually have a video that will give you a glimpse about how technology will really support us in terms of human activities across work and also life scenarios, helping us to be more connected and also smarter. There are some slides that are a bit gloomy because I also want to show you that the world has also changed, right? As we take a look at some of the key drivers of change, the ways that we worked in the past will no longer be successful today, right? Because the pace of change is even faster than ever, and technology has led to disruptions both in our personal and also professional lives. We will also spend some time, it's about a 5-minute video, we will spend some time unpacking the various scenarios within that video to explore some of the key scenarios and also align them to some of the technologies and services that we have available today that will be stepping stones into the future that we will see 5 to 6 years down the road. But first I want to have a go at what's at stake actually. So we believe that with all the different technologies and different types of interactions that are coming into place, really I think the survival, if you're a company, the survival is really at stake. So if you can guess how many Fortune 500 companies in the class of 1955 are still around today? Any guesses?
100?
Okay, fewer than 11%. Alright? And this study was a very recent study. It was done like, I think early last year. So fewer than 11%, only 61 companies appear actually on both the lists. 1955 and post-1955. 89% of them are gone. Right, so half a century ago, the life expectancy of a firm in the Fortune 500 company was about 75 years. Today, it's about 15 years, and perhaps even declining even further. So what is actually fueling this change? If the rate of change outside exceeds the rate of change within the organization, then the organization has a problem to continue to survive. Right? So we'll take a look at 3 trends that are driving the change. The first one is really about ubiquitous computing that is accelerating data explosion and information abundance, and how open networks are winning over closed hierarchies, and how the modern workplaces are also amplifying human activities. So the first trend that we look at is really the exponential increase in connected computing devices. And because of this, we have an explosive growth of data, information, and also communications. This isn't just coming from the known growth of mobile devices. And I know many of us in this room probably have 2 or more phones actually with us. I had lunch with my ex-boss yesterday, and she was carrying 3 different phones of 3 different brands and 3 different platforms. I think you all may know her, Stephanie. Yeah. So this isn't really just because of the growth of mobile devices, but it is really also attributed to the connected IoT devices and also sensors that we see around us today. Right? Not so far from here at the Jurong Lake district, because of Smart Nation, they have planted over 10,000 sensors around the district in order to capture data from people, in order to make better government e-services and more government-centric services as well. So the recent estimate sees that the total device market will grow to over 20 billion by 2020, and the number of IoT devices being twice as large as PCs, smartphones, and tablets combined. So along with the growth of connected device, we will also see the increased risk of personal privacy and cybercrime activities as well. So the volume of digital data and information is increasing at rates that we have never witnessed before. What is clear is that it has passed the human threshold of how to deal with such big amounts of data. So what will this mean for people's work experiences? So we know that the volume of data is going to be doubling every 2 years. And by 2020, the data that we create and copy annually will grow by a factor of 10, from 4.4 zettabytes to 44 zettabytes by 2020. But that also means that the life of information is also falling fast. Right? Recent study estimated that knowledge becomes obsolete at a rate of 30% per year, leaving you with just as little as 15% relevant technical knowledge within just 5 years. The volume of communications is also exploding. A study by University of London found that the constant emailing and text messaging has a direct correlation to the reduced mental capability by an average of 10 points if you ask the same person to take the same IQ test. So, as much as I try not to reply to emails too fast or use my phones too often, but total failure. So I dare not take the IQ test. Okay, we will also see an increasing chance of working in an environment that requires real-time information, and the human attention and not information becomes a scarce resource. Right? Information is overwhelming. So how can we harness the fast-moving river of data, information, and conversations rather than be distracted or overwhelmed? So if you look at the second trend, it's really about socially networked communications that are rapidly taking over as the most efficient way of exchanging information in the modern world. The enterprise social platform usage will grow from 208 million users in 2013 to 535 million users in 2018. So what's driving this growth? Because networks were meant to be open and transparent, right? They unlock tacit knowledge of employees and create also shared intent. And this accelerates innovation, responsiveness, problem solving, and also learning. People also feel more productive, and information flows faster, and it's likely to reach the right people through the networks rather than hierarchical and point-to-point communication structures. In the past, when we had very structured, formal kind of communication approaches without social media and all that, you realize that it actually takes time to reach to the top and then information gets disseminated down. But now with the use of enterprise social media, many more chances for us to actually reach out and get the tacit knowledge from all employees across the spectrum of departments within an organization. So the networks are also becoming the organizing principle for people to get together and also create value together. The talent pool is also now global, and this also means that teams and collaborations also become more important. We used to focus on productivity tools for individuals, like Microsoft Office. Last time it was, and I will say, I've been in Microsoft for only 1.5 years. So pre-Microsoft, I was actually a lecturer, and that's why I still have that bit of lecturing style for 14 years. There was not a very strong collaborative element within the softwares that we used to use. But now, if you look at it, the softwares that companies create, not only Microsoft, but any other company create, they built in the collaborative aspect as well. And also because the talent pool is becoming global, teams and collaboration becomes even more important. And we used to focus really just on building the tool for the individual to use. But at the same time, now we are actually looking at opportunity for value creation is shifting to collective wisdom as well. And this leads us to the third thread, where the workplace is broken. And if you want to see a broken workplace, you have to visit us at Microsoft. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Our workspace is very open, moving from what we had in the past where we had office space, every one of us had an office. Now it's open concept. Alright? We have lockers and we have anywhere. Within the 6 floors, within Microsoft Singapore, I can sit anywhere anywhere on the 6th floor. And most of the time I choose to sit at some corner so that I'm not disturbed. But imagine the immense opportunity for collaboration, because every single day I can be seated beside a person who I totally don't know. In Microsoft Singapore, we have a staff strength of about 268 people. We are also the regional HQ. Singapore is also the regional HQ. So in total, we have about 500 people seated over 6 floors at Raffles Place. So every single day I can be seated beside someone I don't know. But that also provides me an opportunity to collaborate with him or her, because he could have a skill set that I require in my project in the future as well. So we see an amazing about 60% of the office desk vacancy rates, and with the mobile revolution in full swing, people can work from anywhere at any time. So the emerging trend of co-working spaces also gives us some clues. As I mentioned just now, knowledge sharing happens through personal interactions as people work together and connect. So the modern workplace should not be seen as a cost, but as a communication and collaboration tool designed to support even more human interactions than what we have today. And for the most part, we are still running companies in the same way today as we did when information was scarce. And doing things repetitively, at scale, and with a focus on maximum efficiency may not always be the best option for us today. So in real time and in an information abundant world, we have to change these strategies to ensure our success. So in the emerging environment, sharing and collaboration are really the new success factors. Networking and trust yields better results than protectionism. And this we also have to impart to our students and say, yes, while the education system is very competitive, but you should collaborate so that you bring the entire team up together, rather than you protect your own answers and you are only limited by your own abilities. Finding answers together is also a better work mindset than struggling alone, and decision making is also pushed to the edges, empowering, engaging, and also making sure that employees they also have a feeling, a sense of belonging as well. So we believe that the future of work is going to be centered around people, and we need the support of the full range of human activity, which cloud-based productivity services, helping people and teams achieve their goals across applications, devices, and also locations. These experiences will have conversations as a backbone and will be highly mobile, smart, intuitive, helping us to build shared intent quickly to learn and to respond. I will just reflect on the 4 themes that we will see in the video later on. The first one is collaboration. We believe that we need to collaborate more often and across more boundaries than ever before to solve bigger problems, so that we can create tools and environments that allow us to connect, bring us together to work in better ways. attention is also a new scarce resource, right? So we are investing in intelligent tools that will understand the context and help us make the most of every moment. The way that we can live smarter and take advantage of the flood of information. And also in the fast-moving, real-time world, the emphasis is going to be working fast, but at the same time working creatively as well. And we believe that services and environments should allow us to work and collaborate without friction and the way that our minds actually work. And of course, in mobility, we believe that in the environment, teams and individuals they need actually a seamless, fluid mobility of experience that is personal and trustworthy, so that any device and any environment can become your device and also your environment. So before we play the video, I would like to introduce two of the main characters that will be in the video. The first one is actually Kat. She's one of our main characters, and she's a young free agent, an independent marine biologist, and also a kelp expert. So she gets involved in research institutes and also engages with schools, but is also on the lookout for her next project to pay the bills and also to further her passions. Lola, on the other hand, is actually working in the corporate world, and she's an executive in a large biotech company and is in charge of setting up an innovative bio facility here in Asia. She's on the lookout for one final expert to complete her team. Now in the video, you will see how Kat and Lola and the rest of the elements of the video actually interact with one another, and eventually how Lola gets connected with Kat to become that final candidate in the interview process. So have a look at the video. It's about 5 to 6 minutes, and after that we will unpack each of the video scenes as well. So there was actually quite a lot packed into that video, but these are technology that Microsoft Research is already currently working on, some of which are already available today. So let us take a look at some of the core scenarios. I won't be touching in all the scenarios given the interest of time, but I'll just look at some of them and to be centered around the 4 themes which I mentioned just now. So the video included multiple scenes of bringing people together to do a lot of things, to do more in new ways. The digital blackboard in the lab turned the ordinary room into a smart user space that allows team members to work on challenges together, shoulder to shoulder, and interacting with content at the same time. You notice when Kat went into the cafe, they were actually able to work together in a collaborative digital workspace, and they can contribute different types of content, see what each other is doing, and also easily discuss and also share ideas. What was more interesting is that when Kat was actually doing the dive trip, we suddenly see that someone inks into her field of vision and a conversation starts. And this turns out to actually be the fact that Kat actually has a whole classroom of students together with her virtually in the dive. And one of the students, a mute girl, is actually signing and being translated as they talk about the wandering sea animals. They can actually see the world through her eyes. So imagine being able to capture all these real-world experiences in the way so that you can share all these experiences with remote audiences in real time. We will be able to break down geographical boundaries, creating deeper connections between people. And coupled with emerging technologies like real-time voice-to-voice and gesture translation, we can create truly shared experiences and also accelerate how people learn and communicate. We also see many examples of intelligent information services, and it's something that we need given the explosion of information today. So when Kat actually enters a cafe, the contextual feeds from her life and work also keep her current and focused. So bringing the right things to her attention at the right time is important, and she also sets up a personal and also a work feed that draws on multiple apps, prioritizing and delivering information and conversations based on where she is and what she's doing. So again, imagine if you walked into a cafe with your preferences of tea, coffee, or soft drinks, the menu automatically, the electronic menu actually directly goes to that section and tells you what are your key recommendations based on your preferences. These are really about intelligent information services. And when Kat is visiting the night market with her friends, Cortana, I'm sure all of you have heard of Cortana and using it. Okay, her digital assistant basically, digital assistant alerts her to an important work offer by Lola that has just come in with an early morning meeting the following day. So Cortana uses what we call predictive intelligence to learn and anticipate Kat's needs, and the trusted relationship is actually built over time. In this case, it notices that she needs to rearrange her calendar so that she can attend the interview, and maybe she also needs a calm space to actually prepare for the meeting, and Cortana actually presents options for Kat to choose from. Kat also still continues to be firmly in control, and all she has to do is give the go-ahead. Her lunch is moved, a suitable workplace is booked, and a bicycle route is also mapped out for her. So there's no need to jump from one app to another to complete all these complex tasks. So Cortana integrates valuable services like calendaring, searching for available workspace, wayfinding, and also proactively presents Kat with clear, actionable options. And responding to these options are simple and fast because Kat is actually using a wearable device with a flexible display and gesture-based interactions. So throughout the video, we also show multiple ways of interacting with content and services through ink, touch, gesture, voice, and also gaze. And these are increasingly replacing or complementing the traditional keyboard and mouse. So while natural interactions have always been gaining ground, they have so far been deployed individually. So here we show how creativity and productivity can be unlocked and how one can freely switch between them or use them in any various combinations. So devices, rooms, environments are also increasingly being equipped with a variety of sensors, cameras, and projectors to enable a wider range of interactions. And the E3 exhibition in the Science Center is one perfect example. So while waiting for a tea at the cafe, Kat also is able to rapidly assemble data, capture the thoughts, and alter contents across various formats from her colleagues, and easily remixes it into a style of her choice. So intelligent design engines help her instantly create beautiful interactive content on the fly with dynamic and also live data. She could go in, tweak the things, but the idea is that modern content is easily assembled, formatted, and also shared. The last two portions is about secure mobility. So I spoke about making sure that your privacy and cybersecurity matters are also taken care of since information is flooding everywhere. The video also shows that people are moving their experiences from point to point. And we call this the mobility of experience. So in the lab, for example, the blackboard recognizes that Kat's team has entered the space and they quickly rehydrate the room with their project and resume where they left off. And in a co-working space, Kat also securely transfers a cloud-based project work into a touchdown desk. The desk also takes on the settings and gives her a richer, multimodal work experience for her to prepare for the all-important meeting. So in the office, Lola also spontaneously responds, or rather extends, a phone call from her earpiece to the wall, and she seamlessly moves into a richer mode of interaction as a digital assistant virtually augments the conversations with relevant information. And later in the working space, as they have the interview, Kat uses a biometric sensor earbud, which automatically places her in a do not disturb mode to avoid incoming communications during the interview. So the message I would like you to take away from this fresh definition of productivity is that we are moving away from the industrial model of productivity, one of which that was about efficiency, mechanization, and also repetition. Instead, we are moving into a definition that is about empowering people. And to do this, we believe that we need to move from tools that are focused on individual abilities to tools that actually empower social productivity. Also away from tools that actually wait for us to act towards intelligent tools that understand the context and help us spend time and attention on the things that matters most. And to move away also from tools that require us to learn how they work, but to move towards tools that learn the way that we work. And finally also to move from a world where time and space dictate what we do to a truly mobile world that securely revolves around us so that any device can become your device. And ultimately, this is really our vision for the future of productivity. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Gary.